another PSA that we want to premiere. This young man is
Go get vaccinated.
I learned that there, I learned there's a difference. I used to just introduce him as a hip hop artist, but I learned he's an MC, which means that he has studied his craft and learned his craft, and it's also about the stories that he tells. So he's a young man from Paducah, Kentucky that we met through an initiative that we did called Healing Illinois. Is there anyone in this room that heard about Healing Illinois, participated in any of the events? I see one hand, a couple of nods. Well, communities all over communities all over the state of Illinois were challenged to develop projects to have difficult conversations about race. So Legacy's projects, we developed something called the Artist Collective on Race, Equity, and Unity. And if you would like to know more about that, we did virtual performances. We asked Black artists to work with white artists, and they're uploaded now on our YouTube channel. The conference is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel along with all of the PowerPoint presentations. So if you had to miss some, or you want to rewatch it, that's going to be Terrence's job, and he's going to be working on that within the next couple of weeks. So be sure and check that. That being said, I also want to acknowledge Brett Whitnell is here with us today, the Small Business Development Center, and you'll hear a little bit more about them. They sponsored our last speaker, which is on women in entrepreneurship, but so we'll talk about that later. All right, with that,
they want to start a business, have contact.
there you go, and this is the time. So with that, it's now also one of the most wonderful parts of the conference, and that's when we recognize women in our community that have done amazing things. So right after you listen to this PSA from Cal and Nanny, the MC from Paducah, this one is oriented towards you. So check this one out. Let me know what you think. Hit it, Les.
Go get vaccinated, y'all. As a creative artist, it's very important that we unless this is our life, this is our job. This is how we make a living and support our family. Legacy train.
See, I miss going to shows and inside to eat. I wanna go to the store, not stand 6 feet. I wanna see you smile. I don't wanna wear a mask. See mom and pop shop so short staffed. Let's get back to normal and we can be formal. Push toward a future so cordial. The moral of the story is we gon' be fine. Go get a vaccine so we can live our lives. I got mine, cause I'm always on the grind. Always on the road, moving through state lines. So I gotta be safe, understand me? Cause I don't wanna come home and spread it to my family.
So again, we want those to be shared widely. We want, Callan's very talented. He had like about 3 weeks to come up with that. I challenged him. We want to thank Carbondale Community Arts and the Illinois Arts Alliance for those two PSAs that you've seen, Howard Hewitt's and Callan's. All right, we've got door prizes. The blood pressure checks. Jacqueline Pruitt, you won. Get your tickets out. Very, very quickly. All right, ticket number 281. 281, thank you. You can go to the table. Miss Christie will give you your door prize. My St. Louis person, go to the table. You can get a door prize for traveling so far. 274. 274. 274. All right, Lillian, go to the back, please. 219. Chrissy's giving out the prizes. 219. Tiffany, you can get a prize for driving so far. 219. My Jackson, Tennessee person, you can go get a prize for driving so far. Memphis just won, right? Know that Jackson? I got something for you. Your sister can go get something from the table. All right, fantastic. Now for the award ceremony. If you have been recognized for either the Sojourner Truth Award or Ida B. Wells Award, would you please stand? There you go. We got at least one in a row. Thank you. Ann Terry. Ann, would you like to come forward? Ann is going to present this year's Ida B. Wells Award to Miss Sandra Lewis. How many of you had Miss Lewis as a teacher? Yeah, you should see the hands. I'll turn this so you can do this, but Ann will be doing that. And how many of y'all know anything about Ida B. Wells? There you go. What do you, fun fact about, what do you know about her? She protested against lynching and was a newspaper editor. Fantastic. So she used her voice to help others, but mainly it was anti-lynching. She was also one of the founders of the NAACP, which, by the way, we have a membership table here. If you're interested in joining our local branch, see Miss Terry. Also, what else? Somebody gave me another Ida B. Wells fact. She had Memphis roots. Yes, she had Memphis roots, and then she went to Chicago, married a lawyer, bless her heart. And that's where the Barnett came in. They have recently recognized her in the city of Chicago, I believe, with either a monument or a street sign. But know your history. She was really someone that we want to always honor her. And these folks that we honor with this award have her spirit, her heart, and her love for community. So with that, Ms. Terry.
Thank you, Ann. Good afternoon. I believe, and I strongly believe this, that next to a parent, a good teacher can have the greatest impact and influence on one's life.
Amen.
I'm honored this afternoon to present the Ida B. Wells Award to Mrs. Alessandra J. Lewis. Ms. Lewis is the mother of two, Tony and Alan. She's a graduate of HBU, Howard University. Mrs. Lewis began her teaching career in 1966. She taught English and French at the high school level, as well as being a part-time instructor at Shawnee Community College. In addition to Illinois, Mrs. Lewis has also taught in South Carolina and Wisconsin. And while Mrs. Lewis has retired from the classroom, and she retired in 2009, she did not retire from her assignment. And assignments are not predicated on a certain length of time. It's not so much about the money you make, the places you've gone, or the ladder that you're climbing. But our assignments are about the difference that you make in the lives of others. That carbon print that we live on the earth, that's what assignments in our lives are all about. The legacy that stands the test of time, that lets the world know that you were here. Mrs. Lewis' assignment has expanded beyond the doors of the classroom as she continues to influence, impact, and inspire many. She is a treasure in our community. Mrs. Lewis taught 4 of my 5 children. And when I mentioned to them that I was presenting this award to Mrs. Lewis, the accolades and the praises that flowed from them as someone that tremendously impacted and touched their lives. And so I salute Mrs. Lewis today as I present this. She is a 2021 recipient of the Ida B. Wells. And so, as I present this to her, Today we offer to Mrs. Lewis some of the fruit of her own hands. And Holy Scripture has declared that your own works will praise you in the gates. As I say her name, Mrs. Alessandra J. Lewis, we salute you as a recipient of the Ida B. Wells Award.
I want to thank you for considering me for the Ida B. Wells Award. Ida B. Wells holds a special place in my heart. She served the African American community and all Americans by being a social activist promoting anti-lynching campaigns, civil rights, and voting rights. Also, she was a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and therefore my sorority. Service was ingrained in me at a very early age. I can remember being in a religion class and the instructor saying that our purpose for being here on this earth was to love God with all our heart and soul and to love our neighbor. And that meaning loving our neighbor meant being kind and doing good things and helping everybody that we could. And this message was reinforced by the love, lessons, and examples of my dad and mom, Alan Johnson and Llewellyn Johnson. So service has been a foundation of my life's story and journey. With all of the challenges that we are currently facing, the theme of this conference, Fresh Start and New Beginnings, is so importantly, appropriately important. And as we go forward, I would like to ask and encourage all of you to embrace a phrase that I often use. And that phrase is, let us all prayerfully proceed. Thank you again.
And on behalf of Mrs. Lewis, I accept this award for her. Thank you.
Thank you, such a worthy recipient, and hopefully we will all be together next year, amen. With that, I'd like Carolyn Harvey to come forward. Our next award is Nancy Maxwell. Nancy's an extremely hardworking young woman, so we're gonna give her award, and then she's going to remain on the mic, because we've also asked her to be one of our 2 honored storytellers this year. The honored storytellers, as you all know, it's a tradition. You know, we are healed by hearing stories. Silence is not only golden, it can be deadly. We need to share our story, because you never know what someone else is going through. That's why we do testimony testimony service in church, right? We do it so it will increase our faith. So we have started the tradition of having honored storytellers who have overcome or in the process of being victorious over a health challenge or some other life challenge. So Nancy's both this year. So Ms. Harvey is going to present your award.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to just thank Nancy for all of her efforts for the past year or so that she's been just so out there doing things to better the community. Nancy, like Sojourner Truth, sees injustice and goes about trying to correct it. She is a true trailblazer. Nancy also works for the Women's Center in Carbondale. She is a rape crisis advocate and counselor. She is chair of the Criminal Justice Committee for our local Carbondale branch of NAACP. She is the founder of Carbondale United and the executive chair for the Connect 360. She's a founding member of Southern Illinois United Coalition. She is also an alumni of this college of Shawnee. She is a former Cook County Deputy Sheriff and a former Mounds police officer. She is a Black business owner and also founder of the Black Tuesday Business Group. I present to you Nancy Maxwell.
And you can advance while you speak, Nancy.
First of all, I want to thank Lynn and the committee for this honor. This last year and a half or 2 years have been a really a long road for me, kind of. I've been doing stuff in the community, but all of a sudden, I got this burst of energy, probably right after George Floyd murder. And it made me want to get out there. It made me want to do more than just blacken my square on Facebook or put a comment. It made me want to get out there and do something about what's going on. And so we have been marching, and with one of the groups I'm in, which I'm in many, since last year. And we are continuing that journey along. I'm really appreciative of this award. I didn't prepare a speech. I thought I was gonna get up here and say thank you. And that was it. I'm a little bit tired because, as Ms. Harvey said, I'm a rape crisis advocate. And actually, I went out on a go-out last night. And a go-out is when somebody is sexually assaulted. We on call 24 hours and we go to the hospital to help that person. So I didn't get home till 5 o'clock this morning. I laid down, got up at 6, and here I am. So, I just really want to thank, first of all, the creator, and then Lynn Chambers and Legacy and the whole committee. This has been a wonderful affair, and I really appreciate, just don't know how much, getting this award. And I done took half of what I was gonna say when I had to speak.
And let us know when you're ready to run the PowerPoint.
Okay. You can pull the PowerPoint up. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story and my struggle with diabetes. When I first got diabetes, I was real scared. I lost weight, and I was trying to do what they said and be on the medicine, and metformin had me running to the bathroom more times than I could care to count. And I was like, this is just not working for me. I feel okay, so I'm gonna eat what I wanna eat, which I did. And I woke up one morning and my toes was numb. And I'm like, oh my God. So I went to the doctor and she said, do you want them toes? I'm like, yeah, I need my toes. And she was like, well, then you gotta do something about your blood sugar. When we took it, it was 476. And I hadn't had anything to eat that day. So I had to step back and take a serious look about how am I gonna turn this around? And just so happened, I met this man and he told me about keto. And he was saying, oh, keto does this and keto does that. I'm like, this sounds too good to be true. I don't believe that it does all these things. But then I did it. I started in April. By June, they cut my insulin down. By October, I wasn't on insulin at all. I started out with 10 medications, 3 blood pressure pills, a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't remember, because guess what? I don't take none of that stuff anymore. It turned me all the way. So I want to tell y'all a little bit about keto, and I'm trying to go really fast through this. And you can get the PowerPoint at a later time from Lynn. I believe she said it would be on the website.
Oh, okay.
So I told you my story, and I'm going to give you a brief rundown of keto and these topics right here. So keto is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. You can't just go on this for 6 months and then come back and it's still working. It's not gonna work. The diet is low carb and high fat, and it does offer many health benefits. So not only did it take away my diabetes, it took away the swelling that I was having. It took away the numbness in my toes. It took away my blood pressure. Because I am a former domestic violence victim who got hit in the eye quite a few times, my sight, they told me one day that I would probably be blind in this one eye that had so much damage. I did keto, I went to the eye doctor, and he was like, hold on. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, he brought some more doctors in there. He said, I want you to see this. See how this lady's eye has reattached, re-healed itself. I don't have that diagnosis of I might almost be blind. I had a diagnosis that I barely put on glasses. And all that started from keto. Okay, so keto can be accomplished by reducing your carbohydrates and replacing it with fat. So when you go to the store and they say, oh, you should get this because it's low fat this and it's low fat that. Actually, you need that fat. It's better to burn the fat than to burn the carbs. So this will put your body in a new metabolic state called ketosis. This is all the things that can happen when you lose fat. You can 57% migraines, type 2 diabetes, 83% resolve, ovarian syndrome, 97%, gout, 77%, GRD, 72 to 98%. And the list goes on. Obstruction of sleep apnea, which I have. I don't even sleep on a machine no more. 74 to 98%. Okay. So diabetes it doesn't become cured. You can never be cured of it, but it can go in what they call remission or reversal of the disease. I need to be over here. Or reversal of the disease. So when you hit ketosis and you keep going on the diet, correct that, lifestyle, then you no longer, it's reversed. Like my AC1 went back to normal. It was like I never had diabetes. And these are a list of things of what you can eat and what you cannot eat. Meat, seafood, anything with fat, like guacamole is high in fat. Mayonnaise is high in fat. You can eat fried foods, fried chicken, fried everything. It just has to be fried in olive oil and coated with almond flour or coconut flour. And I know you think coconut flour, that's what I thought. I'm gonna fry my chicken in, it's gonna taste like coconuts, but it did not. It had a good flavor. I'm like, ooh, let me get some more. The best thing with that, with doing the frying, I was doing the deep fry, is the air fryer. That's like the bomb, okay? You can cover your chicken with some mustard, put your seasoning on there, put it in the air fryer, and come out looking like KFC. So, an air fryer is a must to have. So this is kind of showing you the carbs equal sugar. So if you eat a banana, it's 17 carbs. The carbs are broken down into glucose, and the glucose into the bloodstream. If you eat, and I don't know how to spell it, 9 bread, the carbs are broken down into glucose, and the glucose goes into the bloodstream. That's 17, that's 43. I try to keep my carbs 20 and under a day. And I try to keep the sugar just as low, well, way lower than that. You can't get rid of carbs. It's in everything. Believe it or not, sugar is in everything. When somebody told me, here goes some sugar-free ketchup, I'm like, wow, okay, it's sugar in ketchup, but it's sugar in almost everything you eat. The key to that is being low. Like Heinz makes sugar-free ketchup. They make sugar-free jelly, sugar-free syrup. It's all kind of ways to eat like you used to, but in a different way. I don't know. I'm all labels and math. So if you eat something and the carbs is 9 grams, but it has dietary fiber in it, this is 2 grams, then you get to deduct that 9 from that 2, which will make you have 7 carbs, instead 7 grams of carbs instead of that 9. Dietary fiber can be deducted from the carbohydrates, which will give you a different look. Like when I first started, they didn't have these wraps, but they have wraps now. Instead of eating bread, I usually wrap my food up in the wrap. The wrap is 4 carbs, 9 carbs, but it has 4 grams of dietary fiber. So you take that off, and that gives me a lower amount of carbs, which allows me to eat maybe a wrap or 2 a day without breaking my stride. There's also IF, intermittent fasting. You can pick how you want to do it. There's different ones on here. Usually I do the 12 hours. That brings you the best results with keto as far as losing the weight, is to fast. So if I come home from work and I eat at 5, I'm not going to eat again until 5 in the morning. And that's the fast. This is the best thing going right here. It's when you first start out like I did, I was waiting for the weight loss. I'm like, okay, where's the weight loss? And the stuff, I'm waiting it hasn't happened yet. It comes in like a whoosh. Like I seen my pants get loose, but when I got on scale, it didn't say it. It didn't go down in. But it comes, and when it comes in, and you get the whoosh, then you might see 10 pounds gone. But it doesn't happen right away. Your body has to adjust to the new way new lifestyle of eating that you have chosen. Water is always your best friend, whether you're gonna do a keto or not. But it helps greatly. Water helps reduce the weight. Okay, so this is my mentor. And in the picture below, it shows his progress after 2 years in keto. And if you notice, he has no hanging skin on this picture. And he has not been to the gym. The secret to hanging skin is IF, which is the fasting we was just talking about. When you fast, your body goes through a process of autophagy. And I might not be saying that right. Which means body eat thyself. So I never did one jumping jack, never went to one gym, never did any of that. And when I was at the house and my son said, "Mama, you working out? Look at your arms." I'm like, I ain't done nothing. Nothing at all. But stuck to this diet. So this will make your skin bounce back to where it was at. Now, there ain't no miracle worker, no expected breast. This is a chart that shows how that affects your body. Okay, can I take this out of here? Because I'm trying to look at that. Okay. So this is a chart that shows when you do the fasting, how it will affect your body, the different things that they can change. And you'll be able to look at this PowerPoint later on Legacy's website. So you can do this 14 to 18 after your last meal. This is a process that's kick-started by a longer fast and fat burning. It comes into play after 14 hours to 18 hours of fasting. But I'm gonna disagree with that because I only did 12 and it still came into play. I didn't do one walk, one ride on the bike, I didn't do anything. I just kept to the diet and kept eating. Lifestyle, I'm sorry. And these are food that promotes that. So that's green tea, onions, soybeans, nuts, grapes, milk, thistle, apples. You can drink on keto, okay? It's not one of them lifestyles where you can't have a nightcap after a hard day at work. So you can drink vodka, tequila, gin, whiskey, rum, scotch, brandy, and cognac, and light beers and red and white wines. You have to avoid the sugary drinks like whiskey sour, sugary syrups, add on like alcohol, juice, fruit ends. I get those Kool-Aid packs, and I mix that up in a bottle and mix it with my vodka, and hey, it's on. And I'm not even crossing the line with that. I can still have me a drink. You can also eat out, and these are the different foods you can eat out at. These you can order at Chick-fil-A, KFC, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Moe's, Burger King. So it doesn't cut you out from eating out. You just have to order differently. When I go to Wendy's, give me a burger with plenty of mayonnaise and no bread. Or they can wrap it in some lettuce, or I carry my bag. I have my wraps with me. I got them with me today. When I got me a brisket, it was fire, and I put it on my wrap and took the bread off. And that's my lunch bag. I have several of these. It's insulated. I got it at Aldi's for a deal. It was like $10. Went to Dollar General and got 2 of them ice packs. I carry that wherever I go. And when I first started, I would go to some place where they be having dinner or something, and there would be nothing there I could eat. And then I'm sitting there looking hungry while everybody else is eating. So I'm like, I gotta start bringing my food. So I bring my food, like I got a bag today, with the stuff in it that I can eat, so I'm always prepared, so I don't have to break doing keto. And this is when everyone who judged you when you first started keto see you to hit your goal and want to know how you did it. And that is so true, because we're like, oh, I don't know I can do that. I don't think that's right. The doctor said, I watched it. It's a documentary on that they have taken off because they don't want you to hear about this. When I went to the doctor, she was like, well, you doing so good. And blah, blah. I'm like, I'm doing keto. She said, oh, keto. I said, so you know about this? She was like, yeah. I'm like, why you didn't tell me? You see my diabetes out of control? I'm like, why you didn't say nothing?
Right.
If everybody did this, we put the hospital out of business. That's what it is. So I watched the documentary where the scientist was on there saying, oh, they was talking about keto and how I could do this and that. And the lady said, that was in Congress, she was like, oh, well, that would put millions of people out of work. Nobody be buying the medicines and the pharmacy and the drugs and anything. The doctors wouldn't have no jobs. We can't approve this. So I want you to think about that. And these are some examples of people before keto and after. That's me before keto with the 3 chins and the big thighs. I thought I was looking so good in that picture. Until I got on keto and I was like, oh, look at that. Look how big my jaws and stuff is. That was me afterwards. Now, I ain't gonna lie. The pandemic done got me. I done fell off a little bit, but I'm back on the road. Okay, pitfalls and backslides. Keto is like a marriage. It doesn't work if you cheat. So you can't cheat on this. You gotta be straightforward. And for 2 years straight, I ate just like this militantly. I got used to it. I don't even want a piece of bread now. If you gave me one, I wouldn't want one. Macaroni and cheese? No. Cauliflower and cheese sauce? Yes. There are millions of recipes that you can substitute what you eating with something else. And cauliflower is, I never know you can do so many things with cauliflower. You can make wings, you can make cauliflower mac and cheese, you can make pizza, you can make cauliflower steaks, take the cauliflower and chop it sideways, make that a steak, season it and fry it, fire. Here's some resources that documentary that I was telling you about where they talk about how they don't want to approve this. That's the magic pill. It may not even be on there no more because they've taken it off. And these are some other websites on here. So one doctor just won the Nobel Peace Prize for his research on IF. So you can look that up and they'll tell you he just won the Nobel Peace Prize for intermittent fasting. And I thank y'all. So, is there any questions? Anybody got any questions?
Does this help with type 1 diabetes?
That's dependent. It's mostly type 2.
know you won't get the total statement, but does it help to lower your blood sugars, keep them better under control?
I don't have that information. I wish I did. I'm type 2, so I didn't look into nothing else but type 2.
Well, shame on you.
I know, shame on me. But that's a question I will work on. That's something I will work on, so I will know that information.
And write it down, we'll research and get it back to you.
Yes. Yes, Terrence. Yes.
Mildred,
Mildred.
do you know of any negative effects from being on the keto lifestyle?
I personally do not. I had no negative effects. Only thing I had was good results.
Is this similar to the old, they used to call it the Atkins diet, is it similar to that?
It's similar, but not the same. Because I did the Atkins diet and I got sick. Yeah. It was mostly all meat. But this, you can do different vegetables, you can eat different fruits. Anything with a berry in it is good for you. So strawberry, cherry. I don't recall, I think Atkins cut all that out if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, so I got sick off that diet. This one, I haven't been sick not one day. I used to go to the hospital every year. I ain't been to the hospital in 2020, I ain't been in 2019.
Praise God.
And I haven't been in 2021, so thus far.
I got one more.
Okay.
Okay, so with your keto, is your keto more of a plant-based diet? And I don't mean you're like eating all plants, but
Can you hear her?
the majority of your foods are plants.
Yeah.
She said, is it
So-
more plant-based?
No, it's real meat. I like red meat. It's real meat. It's chicken, fish, steak, and everything else.
No, I mean, you're eating, oh, I'm sorry. You're eating meat, yes, but is the majority of it plants as well?
Yeah. Yeah. It's certain vegetables that you can't eat. You have to learn how to read bags. That's what I learned how to read. Is read the labels to see what's in it. So some vegetables are A1, some vegetables are not. That list that I have in there is really a good indicator of what you can eat and what you cannot eat. But I learned a lot from reading the labels. It would be something on there that said, ooh, healthy such and so and so. And then you look and it had all these carbs in it. Carbs equals sugar. And if I'm a diabetic, then I tried to eat healthy before this. But look at all the things I might have been eating that had sugar in it, like the ketchup, like, different items. Because I wasn't reading any labels. If it said healthy and low fat, I went for it without reading. So we have to educate ourselves and read the labels to know what's exactly in this food that you're putting in your body. Yes, ma'am.
So you had a mental, how else can a person in this keto diet go online and buy sources?
They can call me 306-5885. I will help you out. Because I want to see my people healthy.
You'll be on speed dial.
Nancy?
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned bread.
Uh-huh.
Well, keto has a label, is that correct? A keto bread that you can purchase?
Yes. That wasn't out when I first started, but it's out now.
Yeah, that's.
It doesn't taste exactly like bread. But when you went 2 years without bread, it's like, ooh, it's like heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've used it several times.
Yes.
And it's okay. It's a taste that you kind of have to get used to.
Yes, indeed. I'm used to it. I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's some bread. Before that, I baked my own bread. That's another thing. I wasn't cooking. I was going out to eat. I started cooking. I bought pots and pans. And I started, you come to my house on Sunday, it smells like the bakery. I got bread cooking, cornbread cooking, making my own stuff. Because guess what? I know what's in there. Because I put the ingredients in there myself. I don't know what's in the food that I have bought from the store.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
So I just want to present you with some gifts. And I just want to thank You the only person full of gifts. God bless you. We love you. Thank you. Did you do a wonderful job? And she's also on the planning committee for this conference as well. All right. So with that, we're gonna move right along. We have our second honored storyteller. She's come all the way from Memphis, Tennessee to be with us. The title of her presentation is, I Know God Had More For Me. Would you please welcome, and she's gonna tell you her story. She's credentialed, an educated woman. She's a certified substance abuse prevention counselor. But what she said in her bio is she's a wonderful mother, wife, sister, friend. So we're so pleased. Sheila Daniels is going to be our honored storyteller, and she's coming in her own way.
Hey y'all. Hello. Y'all ate that good food and y'all tired. I need y'all to put your hands up in there. Come on, wake them up. Lean back, stretch, relax. Okay. Okay. I'm coming here from Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, I love my town. But I'm telling you that God had more for me because I work in human trafficking. And the reason why I work in human trafficking is because I was trafficked as a child. I come from a good friend, you know, my mother and father are very good parents. Except my dad was an alcoholic, but he was a functioning alcoholic. And he was a functioning alcoholic, and which made him, he wasn't very good to my mom. He used to fight my mom. But they gave us everything. I really, one of the two of us, me and my sister. Later, my mother had other children, but I really thought we had a good life. You know, as a child, that's what you think. But I remember one day he went in the bathroom behind my mom, and I heard him holler. Then he didn't go behind my mom no more. No, he didn't go behind. And then we moved away. That's what I thought, my perception as a child. I thought, okay, we moved away, we had a car and everything. But my mother told me later, I planned that. She said, I saved money and I bought a car and I left it at my mom's house, and then I got an apartment later, and then we moved out. But I just thought one day we got up and moved, you know, just as a kid. That's just my perception as a kid. Right. And then she got into a relationship with this young man, and he used to have to take me to school, and he wouldn't take me to school. He was molesting me. And he told me he was gonna do something to my mom and my sister if I ever told him. And one day, I was with my grandmama. My grandmama was something serious. A little woman about this tall. She said, come here, baby. She said, who bothered you? She said, I see you. Who bothered you? And I said, I don't know. I told her. And they arrested him. But before they arrested him, he kicked our door in our apartment. And me and my little sister was trying to cut him and stab him with forks and everything. Vicious. But, because he was trying to get my mama. But I had to go testify in front of a judge and to tell all that stuff again. And it made me feel that small. And I felt like everybody saw me. Everybody knew what happened to me. So I always walked with my head down. Didn't want nobody, you know, pay too much attention to me. And then my grandfather started touching me. And how can I tell my mama that her daddy started touching me? My grandmama, who loved me, and my granddaddy ain't no doggone good. So I just stayed away from him and stuck to myself, which made me very vulnerable because I already felt like nobody liked me, nobody wanted, you know, everybody knew what happened to me. Didn't want to go to Granddaddy in the mouth because Granddaddy was there, you know? And So I said 2 secrets. I don't need no secrets because come to find out later in life, I wasn't the only person he touched. He had done it to other people. But nobody told him.
You okay? You
And,
safe?
Then, one day, you know, I found out, you know, my dad was an alcoholic, so I sip and drink every now and then, a little of his stuff, and that kind of made me feel kind of okay, you know? Kind of took the pain away a little bit, then I smoke a little weed and everything. It's like, okay, hey, I found me something to do. And one day I was at the store, and like this guy met me, he was really nice, I thought he was really nice. He told me how cute I was, he bought me chips and everything. And he started befriending me. Every day I come to the store, hey girls. I was like, oh, that's my friend. So one day he told me, he said, hey, come on, ride me around the corner. I said, okay. When I got in the car never stopped till he stopped in Oklahoma City. And when he got to Oklahoma, he jumped on me, he told me, this is what you will be doing. And everybody around here know who you are. So don't try nothing. So, at 16, I was in Oklahoma City, standing on Lincoln Boulevard, selling myself, trying to do whatever it took, so this man would not beat me. And I was praying, you know, God, if I ever can get away from it, because it was other girls out there, and I noticed it, and they noticed their face, they looked like me. They looked the same way I looked. I didn't want to be out there. I could look at it and see it in some of their faces, they didn't want to be out there. So I figured they must be around the same thing must be happening to them too. And he took me to Arizona, and there was a policeman standing there. He got out of his car and he walked toward me, and I started walking toward him. And the pimp jumped out in front of me and the police. He said, what you think you're doing? I said, I'm going to him. He hit me in my head in front of the police. I didn't have to say nothing. They locked him up right there on the spot. But in that time, he had given me drugs, and I kind of found another way of soothing myself, because I didn't have to feel any of the stuff I had felt. Because trauma is real.
Amen.
And by then I had been well traumatized.
Yeah.
So I just kept using drugs. In fact, my mother married a Marine. My little sister's here now, that came out of that marriage, my little sister. And he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. He fought hard to try to keep me in line, man. But I was already way out there. They even took me with them to Italy. I stayed in Italy 3.5 years. I went to the University of Laverne. I was gonna be a weather girl. I was gonna be proud of it. I was gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in business when I went to school. But I was an alcoholic by that time. I went to school every day, but I drank. Then when I got back over here in America, they was smoking crack. Wow, that was ready, though. Next, I was ready. And I jumped right on in, smoking crack, doing what I was doing. And I had kids, but who gonna keep kids smoking crack? Man, they make noise. No, I ain't keeping no kids. But I thank God for my mother, because she kept my kids. And I went on with doing that for like 10 years of my life. Walking thousands of miles in the same neighborhood, never leaving out the block. You hear me?
Amen.
Walk thousands of miles in my neighborhood, never leaving the block. And my mama had told me she was sick. She told me she had cancer. I heard her, but But I kept saying, I said, man, that tell me anything, keep me from doing drugs. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. And my sister, that sister right there, had my little boy at her house. Took my little son to the dope house and dropped my baby off at the dope house. And told the dope man, I ain't got no kids. This way, I said, I told her, where you leave my baby over there for? She said, that's where you at. If I could have got to her that day, Lord, no, I would have killed her. I set out to kill her. You leave my baby on the dope track. And then my mom, because my mom was sick and I really did not pay attention, she gave me a cell phone. She was paying the bill. And the dope man called me and said, I got your baby. I said, you got my baby? What? He said, go on, go on, get you some money. He eat chicken. He good? What? Let me tell you something. That day, y'all, God whooped me so good when I got that hit of that dope. I saw child molested, I saw police, I saw everything. I said, oh God, I just grabbed him by his hand and started walking. So come on, let's get out of here. I just started walking. He's a little red boy and he looked up at me. I had a moment of clarity. He looked at me and he said, please don't throw me away. And I said, why I got this baby out here? It's December the 8th, 2008. So why I got this baby out here? Why can't I go home? What's wrong with me, God? What's wrong with me? And I called my sister. Because she's 2 years younger than me, one but us two growing up. My mother had 3 other children. And I called my sister and said, can I come over your house? She had never let me come to her house before. She said, come on. And I went to her house. And I said, I gotta get myself together. I gotta do something, God. I gotta do something. So I decided I was gonna go to treatment. And I took my baby with me to treatment. They got a treatment center, a renewal program where it allows you to take your baby with you. So I took my 2 boys with me to treatment. And I forgot to tell you, a few months earlier, my daddy had died. I tried to stay sober. I stayed sober, I think, about 3 days. But the drugs just kept calling me back. Because I didn't know anything about addiction. I never knew that once I put it in me, it set off a craving that I had to have it no matter what. That in actuality, I'm allergic to it. And when you're allergic to something, you don't need to take it. You get, think about it, if you get some penicillin in your mouth, people tell you, no, you don't need to take that no more, baby. And people take crack and do that every time. You be like, you can't even talk. You're allergic to that, baby. And but I know now. And I decided I was gonna go to treatment, right? I went to treatment, took my baby, and they would bring my mom to see me. And I'm starting to realize something wrong with my mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my mama, she's looking weak. And they were bringing her from the Cancer Institute in Oklahoma City. She was going all the way to Oklahoma to get treatment. And what I didn't know is that the only thing they did was kill the nerves that were causing her pain, because there was nothing they could do. She was dying. She wasn't in any pain, but she was dying. And the last time they brought her there, they said, hey, you go out to the car and see your mom. Like, you can't come in? I'm like, what went on? And I went out, and she said, I just want to see your face. Mama love me. And my mama love me. I love my mom too. She just wanted to see my face. And Easter Sunday was coming, and I got a pass to go home. And when I went home, my mom smelled like pee. My mom is an educated woman. She has a master's. She does everything. She's head of a library program. She used to be on Sesame Street. She used to be on Mr. Chuck. She's all these different television programs. My mother is a worldwide storyteller. My mother, when she goes to the beauty, get her nails done, she get her toes done, she has the same little clothes, she's a pretty little bitty thing. And she be cute, okay? And P is nowhere in there, okay? I knew I had to go home and take care of my mama, because she couldn't take care of herself. So that day I went back to treatment, and I started packing my stuff. I went to the office that morning when the lady, well, that night though, let me tell you about that night though. That night tripped me out. You know, you can't go out to smoke like after like 7 o'clock in the evening. They don't let you out the building no more. I got up, that lady said, look, you go smoke a cigarette, put something in the dough. I said, I don't know what I look like. She told me to go smoke. I went down there to smoke, and I lit that cigarette, and I started smoking, and I said, God, what's going on? What's going on with my mama? And some said, you know. I said, God, is that you? He said, yeah, it's me. He said, you know what's going on. I said, God, you talking to me? He said, I talk to you all the time, but you never slow down to hear me. I said, God, what am I supposed to do? He said, you know what to do. I know what to do. I went right on back upstairs and packed my stuff. I went to the front door and I told that lady, I said, look, I got to get ready to go home and take care of my mama. She said, now, Asa, you just want to get high. I said, let me tell you something. If we're going to remain friends, don't say that to me no more. She said, if you feel that strongly about it, I'll pay for the cab. She paid for my cab. I went home, and I'm telling you, I told you I had 3 sisters and brothers that were younger than me. One sister was at Carleton University. She graduated from Hutchinson School for Girls. My mom went through all that for this kid. In fact, she speaks like 2-3 languages, works for the Army Corps engineer and got a cat. Okay? And she just got back from the Netherlands. She's been to Dubai. She's doing this girl is doing big stuff. And I kind of think that a lot of the reason why she didn't like to be in Memphis, because her sister was an addict. And she didn't want that around her. And my little sister went to Hampton University, but she switched back to the University of Memphis because my mom was sick. But when I got out the car, I have a little brother who also was at the University of Memphis. He graduated with 2 degrees. And right now he's in Hawaii, just got out the military and got a government job and live in Hawaii. This kid is doing it at 30, 34, 35. Be 33 or something like that, 33. This dude is bad. Man, I'm so proud that dude don't know what to do. But I'm telling you, when I got out the cab, man, that dude walked to the door and said, hey, get your kids, go on wherever you going. Oh, I said, I gotta take care of my mama. He said, man, go on, get right here with it. And my mama said, I need her. He had to shut up. And I did. I went in there, y'all. I gave my mom a bath. I polished my mom's toes. I took care of my mom. And let me tell you, I had left treatment. But I got a schedule. My little boy went to school by the rehabilitation center I was at. So every morning, I would get up, take care of my mom. I would get on the bus, take my little boy to school. I would go to outpatient therapy, get on the bus, pick up my little boy, go to a meeting. I would go to a meeting, then pick up my little boy, then come back home. That was my routine. I did that every day. And then one day my mom told me, she said, I'm gonna talk to you when you get through smoking the cigarettes. That's why I quit smoking cigarettes. Strange stuff happened to me when I was smoking cigarettes. She won't talk to me when I got through. And I smoked a cigarette and I came back and she said, I can't breathe. I said, Mama, you could have said, I have to go. She said, it's okay. So I called my sister. I said, hey, Mom, can't breathe. She said, call ambulance. I ain't got no oxygen. Okay. So I called the ambulance. My mom went to the hospital. And so I still did what I did. I got up every morning, took my boy to school, went to outpatient treatment, went to a meeting, picked my little boy up. Then I got on the 52, went to St. Francis, sat with my brother, my mama, and then Hope, one of my sisters and brothers, would give me a ride home. And finally I asked my sister, what is going on? She looked at me and said, Mom is actively dying. I said, what do you mean? Actively dying? She said, the Cancer Institute only killed the nerves so she wouldn't be in pain. She's not in any pain, but she is slowly dying. I said, well, what with these kids? You know, my little sister and brother, they were thinking kids. Them kids. Why they walking all around here and they know she dying? She said, I don't know how to tell them. Okay. Oh, she said, I don't know how to tell them. But, needless to say, I told them. And we all told Mama that we loved her. And in fact, my little sister ran up there and told her that she loved me and everything. And then I told my mom, I said, Mom, I know I've caused you a lot of strife. I said, but one thing I know for sure is I ain't gonna do it no more. I ain't gonna get high. I said, they don't know it yet, but they gonna love me. They gonna love me. She smiled so big. And I'm telling y'all, the very next day, my mama passed away. And my little brother and sister made my life a living hell for the next few years. Like that next year. You know what I'm saying? But I stayed the course. I kept going to work. I kept going every day to treatment. I kept going. In fact, the man said, do you know you graduated 3 months ago? I said, I don't want nothing else to do. I don't want to get high no more. He gave me a key to the building, taught me medical records, and I've been working, and medical building and all that. He taught me that. He gave me my first job in recovery. Like I said, I started seeing women still on the street doing what they were doing, and I knew that something had to be done. So I went to our Amy Warwick is our district attorney for the state, and I went to her and I said, hey, how can I do this? And I started volunteering with this chick named Rachel. When I started volunteering with her, the women started saying, can we go home with you and stuff? And she's like, we need a house. So she went hustling and got money, we got a house. So we have 2 safe houses now. We have 2 vehicles. I just know that God had a little bit more for me. And so I do this every day. I work hard to help other women know that they don't have to go through. I've raised the bottom for you. You don't have to go as low as I did. And God can. Yeah, He will.
Yeah, He will.
Okay. I want to share this little video because y'all, I had a little beat up car. And I was steady picking women up and doing stuff. And I picked up a little girl from New Orleans who had been kidnapped at 15 and took her home. And I was putting oil in her car. And her parents, they just, let me just let you see.
Smile, Miss Sheila. Smile. Smile. You work really Oh no! Oh no!
no. I was putting
Gotta give her
on
a hug.
car, that car was dead. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I got a husband that bleed. Whoop, God. I got this thing full.
Wow, what a powerful story. We're gonna deviate just slightly from the agenda, and we have ice cream in the back for Dippin' Dots, and then we'll come back, and Jay, I need to talk to the rest of the speakers because we are really behind. So we're gonna powwow and figure out how to do this. Oh, let's do the Lions Club raffle.
Yes.
But in the meantime, get your tickets. If you have 239 or 238, 239, 238. So if y'all came together. 239, 238. Going once.